Yes, I am. And
Okay.
Cynthia,
Yes.
you already saw this lesson, but
Yes.
I would like you to participate as much as you can.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, guys, let's begin. Challenges. What do you see here?
Well, climbing.
Am I
Sky.
climbing? Yeah, is this something easy?
No.
No.
No?
Obviously, no, it's hard.
Would this be a challenge for you?
Yes. For me, yes. Yes.
Climbing?
Climbing.
Climbing, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It,
would be.
it would definitely be a challenge for me. And I like to climb.
Yes, I like it.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
so-
some of these.
It's like a
if you did-
C1 course for me. It's a challenge. It's my challenge. I would like, but I need to improve more and I need to practice. I need to study a lot.
Practice will help you a lot.
Yes.
So let's begin with lesson giving away your things. All right, what do you understand for giving away?
Well, you're
Put it on the garbage.
no
The garbage.
giving away means that you are donating
Donation.
Yes,
or
donation.
or giving like as a present
Sure.
or sharing
Sharing.
something you have.
No, it wouldn't be sharing. It would be just giving as a gift to somebody else, but things of yours, like your shoes, your pants, your backpacks, your tools, you know, things like that, that were yours and you think that you don't need them as much as somebody else. So you give them to that person. You give your things away.
Yes.
Would this be a challenge for you?
No, it's easy.
No.
I have do it. I have done it twice a year.
Wow, that's nice. Very nice. What do you see in the picture?
A
Oh,
homeless.
it's
Homeless
people
Yeah, a homeless person.
on the street.
Are there homeless people in your neighborhood?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
When I was studying English in a school, they say that some of the people, these people are called people Bach.
People what?
Bach. My teacher was from New York and said that because they always carry their lives in a bag, so that's why they call them people Bach. I remember that.
Yes, I understand. Oh, yes, I think so.
People back?
Yes, people back.
Back.
Okay. Back.
People
Yes.
Bach.
I'm not familiar with that expression actually.
My teacher says that.
Yeah. Okay, so people back. And there are homeless people in your neighborhood?
Yeah.
Well, in this one, I've never seen one. So
No?
but I'm sure it must be, there must be a lot of here in Guadalajara.
Do you give them anything?
Yes. Yes, I do. So, here.
Yes, I do.
Or do you just walk by?
Or sometimes I just walk by.
Yeah.
How do people generally react toward the homeless?
They don't pay attention.
They ignore.
Yeah, they
they
ignore. So
They
we're
ignore
going to see a story. The name of the story is The Power of Half. What would you do if you saw a homeless person begging in the street? Walk on by or give a few spare coins? Please, guys, ask and answer the questions with your classmates.
Okay. Lucia, what would you do if you saw a homeless person?
Give some money
Yeah, get some money.
or food.
Yeah, if I can, I will give them some coins.
Okay.
Maybe or
Maybe food. Maybe food.
Food.
Yeah,
Maybe-
Or clothes.
maybe buy
Maybe.
something
Clothes.
for them.
Bread, coffee. Well, what I used to do it is give a cup of coffee with some bread. And
Okay.
some of them ask alcohol. Well, I buy a bottle or something.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you buy alcohol for them?
Yes, because that's what
Yes,
they
it's
need.
different.
Because
They-
that's what they need. Can you imagine the hangover
Yes.
and don't have money?
You are too
It's
nice.
really hard. It's really hard. So
You know what's it's something very debatable. A lot of people will take it wrongly, but that's what my father taught me. When my
I'll never
father,
do that.
what I know, most people will never do that, but my father told me, if you see a man, not a homeless man, a man, and this man is drunk or hungover, and he asks you for a peso or two, give it to them. He says their situation is really awful.
Yes.
It's absolutely awful. So that's and that's what Antonio is saying right just now.
Yes.
yeah.
All right, let's continue, guys. Um, all right, let's continue reading. What would you do if you saw a homeless person begging in the street? Welcome by, give a few spare coins? Not the Solwen family. They gave much more than that. Read their story and ask yourself, what would I have done? So what I would like you to do is listen to the story and tell me, what did Hannah Solwen's family do and why? Are you
This
ready?
family is so crazy.
Why? What did they do? Ah, Cynthia.
Yes. I know the story.
All right, so guys, listen to the story and tell me, what did the family do and why? Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
The power of half. What would you do if you saw a homeless person begging in the street? Walk on by? Give a few spare coins? Not the Salwen family. They gave much more than that. Read their story and ask yourself, what would I have done? Kevin Salwen was driving his 14-year-old daughter, Hannah, back from a sleepover. Hannah had often seen homeless people begging for food at the stoplight near their home. But on this particular day, while they were waiting for the light, Hannah noticed an expensive car in front of them and a homeless man standing on the side of the road. If that guy didn't have such a nice car, the man over here could have a meal, Hannah said. The scene clearly made a deep impression on Hannah, and she continued to discuss it with her parents and brother for some time. She wanted her family to make a difference in the world, even if it was a small difference. How much are you willing to give up? Her mom asked. This house? Eventually, that's exactly what the family did. They sold their $2 million dream home and donated half the proceeds to the Hunger Project's work in Africa. If Hannah hadn't seen the homeless man alongside the car that day, maybe the Salwens would still be in their dream home. But would they be as happy? In their new, smaller house, they found they were spending more time together and became closer as a family. They admit they might not have become so close if they had stayed in their old home. If you want to learn more about the Salwens' remarkable story, visit their website.
Hello, Mr. Valles.
Hello, good evening, guys.
Good
Hello,
evening.
Alberto.
All right, guys, please ask and answer. What did Hannah Solomon's family do and why?
They sold their 2 million
The house.
home.
One more time. They what?
They sold their 2 million home and donated half to African people.
Okay. Do you guys agree?
Yes,
Well,
it was.
yes, but it's not very common that
No,
someone
All right. So
No.
they sold their
Then-
2 million home.
Yes.
Mhm.
Or
The
their
house, no, the
house.
house.
Oh, it was a house.
And they donated to African people.
That's what.
Would you like to listen again?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you want to listen again?
Yes.
All right, let's listen again.
The power of half. What would you do if you saw a homeless person begging in the street? Walk on by? Give a few spare coins? Not the Salwen family. They gave much more than that. Read their story and ask yourself, what would I have done? Kevin Salwen was driving his 14-year-old daughter, Hannah, back from a sleepover. Hannah had often seen homeless people begging for food at the stoplight near their home. But on this particular day, while they were waiting for the light, Hannah noticed an expensive car in front of them and a homeless man standing on the side of the road. If that guy didn't have such a nice car, the man over here could have a meal, Hannah said. The scene clearly made a deep impression on Hannah, and she continued to discuss it with her parents and brother for some time. She wanted her family to make a difference in the world, even if it was a small difference. How much are you willing to give up? Her mom asked. This house? Eventually, that's exactly what the family did. They sold their $2 million dream home and donated half the proceeds to the Hunger Project's work in Africa. If Hannah hadn't seen the homeless man alongside the car that day, maybe the Salwens would still be in their dream home. But would they be as happy? In their new, smaller house, they found they were spending more time together and became closer as a family. They admit they might not have become so close if they had stayed in their old home. If you want to learn more about the Salwens' remarkable story, visit their website.
There you go. Please share your opinions, please.
Okay, when people have a lot of money, when they are rich, Hannah was empathy with the homeless, and she proved the this kind of life homeless, and she left her house. She was a dream, like a help of many people, and as talked with her family and asked them if they can help or what can they do for help the homeless. And that's okay. We always are empathy, but it's difficult to help all the people. If you help one, it's okay, maybe two or three. I know in some of countries in Europe, in the restaurants, they have a meal special for this kind of people. It has a name, a special name, but everybody, all the people when visit these kind of restaurants, pay more than you get. And when the people, this kind of people, homeless, enter to this kind of restaurants, they give the meal, and it's okay. I think so. It's good for this kind of situation in all the countries, but no, but it's so difficult. No, other
Yeah,
people say no, we don't. We can help all, but it's complicated. I
yeah,
think so. Hannah get it through the empathy, and it's okay, but it's so hard. And we need to create more programs for help them,
to help them.
sorry.
So what did the
you.
family do?
They create this kind of, they analyze and propose a program.
Oh, they
So
proposed a program.
yes,
All right.
so the blog, Hannah Sweden, and you can visit and maybe put your seed in this kind of program. No?
Okay. That what you got that from the audio?
Yes,
Okay. I thought you researched something. What about the rest of you guys? Antonio, Alberto, Rocio, Adriana. What do
Well,
you guys think?
they donated that money
Mhm.
to the hunger projects in Africa,
yes.
but I didn't hear that they made the program.
Mhm.
And
Uh-huh.
they felt better in the small house because they were tied, I think, together, and they spend more time with them, each other, and I think they felt better in that small house, even though they have sold this the dream of the house of the dream, something like that, no?
Their house. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like Barbie, Dreamer
Mhm.
House.
The dream house, no?
Yes.
Their dream
Yes.
house.
Yeah, actually, I think that's impressive. But I mean, what's the
Yes.
difference between having a $2 million house and a $1 million house? You still have a such pretty house. So even if
Yes.
it's smaller, I guess that it's not that much difference. I think. But I mean, it's actually impressive because rich people is not so open to sell
Charity.
something that they want
Conscious.
that where they're living in and share
Mm.
it with, I mean, African people will never know that you send them that money.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So that's a crazy gesture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
The
yes.
I want you to listen and read at the same time, please.
The power of half. What would you do if you saw a homeless person begging in the street? Walk on by? Give a few spare coins? Not the Salwen family. They gave much more than that. Read their story and ask yourself, what would I have done? Kevin Salwen was driving his 14-year-old daughter, Hannah, back from a sleepover. Hannah had often seen homeless people begging for food at the stoplight near their home. But on this particular day, while they were waiting for the light, Hannah noticed an expensive car in front of them and a homeless man standing on the side of the road. If that guy didn't have such a nice car, the man over here could have a meal, Hannah said. The scene clearly made a deep impression on Hannah, and she continued to discuss it with her parents and brother for some time. She wanted her family to make a difference in the world, even if it was a small difference. How much are you willing to give up? Her mom asked. This house? Eventually, that's exactly what the family did. They sold their $2 million dream home and donated half the proceeds to the Hunger Project's work in Africa. If Hannah hadn't seen the homeless man alongside the car that day, maybe the Salwens would still be in their dream home. But would they be as happy? In their new, smaller house, they found they were spending more time together and became closer as a family. They admit they might not have become so close if they had stayed in their old home. If you want to learn more about the Salwens' remarkable story, visit their website.
There you go. So yes,
So is this story true or?
yes, it
It's
is.
true.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's the problem. No, 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 no. That's crazy.
Yes, it's
It
a
is.
problem around the world. Really.
Because as
Adriana,
Alberto says,
Yes.
how, what were they going to do with the 2 million? I mean, maybe, okay, it's different when they give and they receive, no? Well, it's completely,
different.
Maybe they are a rich family and then, later they will get that million back,
Mhm.
and buy again another bigger house. I don't
Maybe,
know.
maybe,
Maybe.
maybe. All right. So what do you think of the story?
But actually, I think it was a nice gesture,
A very nice gesture. So
Yes.
I let's see if we understand everything. Okay. So first, we'll start with the story. Kevin Solwen was driving his 14-year-old daughter, Hannah, back from a sleepover. Yeah, so Anna wasn't at home. Anna was in a friend's house,
Mm,
a sleepover, a pajama night.
mhm,
So at the next day, the father went to pick up his daughter. All right, Hannah, let's go back home. Okay.
mhm.
Hannah had often seen homeless people begging for food at the stoplight near their home. She always saw the homeless man right there at the stoplight, right? It was normal for her now. But on this particular day, while they were waiting for the light, Hannah noticed an expensive car in front of them and a homeless man standing on the side of the road. So here is the homeless man,
Yes, that's the car.
expensive car. Yes? So she saw it
Mhm.
and she thought, if that guy didn't have such a nice car, this guy, the man over here could have a meal, Hannah said.
Mhm.
The scene clearly made a deep impression on Hannah, and she continued to discuss it with her parents and brother for some time. She wanted her family to make a difference in the world, even if it was a small difference. Yeah, she was talking to her mom about it.
Mhm.
How much are you willing to give up? Her mom asked. This house? Eventually, that's exactly what the family did. They sold their 2 million dream home. They sold their $2 million
Yeah,
dream home.
yeah.
Yeah.
Man, look at this house. Is this house ugly?
No.
No.
No?
Beautiful.
Would you take it?
Obviously,
I would like. I would like.
If you had it,
are you gonna give it to me?
if you had it, would you sell it and donate the half of the proceeds?
Well, maybe because they have a lot of money, that's why.
Mhm.
So
They
that
have
means you
more than
wouldn't?
2 million.
So that means you wouldn't?
Or maybe I'm too selfish.
Well, they donated half the proceeds to the hunger project's work in Africa. Yeah, like Alberto said, they gave money to the African people and they will never know who sent them that money.
Exactly.
Mm.
If Hannah hadn't seen the homeless man alongside the car that day, maybe the Sowens would still be in their dream home. But would they be as happy? In their new, smaller house, they found they were spending more time together and became closer as a family. They admit they might not have become so close if they had stayed in their old home.
Mhm.
Do you agree with that opinion?
No.
Well, we are imagining that they admit they might not have become so close. Because that's what they say. If they stayed at the old home, they was they was
They are separated.
they were separated, right?
Yeah, they
Yes.
were in a big house, right?
Right. A long distance from each other. I mean,
From
from
one
one
another.
from the other, another.
From,
Yeah.
from one another. Yeah.
Like 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
All
Kilometers,
right.
I don't think
Now
so.
I would like to have everybody's participation. So please, everybody, can you retell me the story?
Well,
All right. Adriana, begin, please.
okay, so Mr. Kevin Sawin was driving he went to pick up her daughter and from a sleepover, and then he was taking her to their home. And while they were in a um, stop, or I don't remember. So they stopped
In the
while they were driving, and Hannah, the daughter, saw in front of them. A homeless asking for money. to the car that it was in front of them. So she wondered if that person wouldn't have such a nice car.
The person wouldn't?
If the person, or if the person didn't have such a nice car,
Okay.
the person could give some money to that homeless to buy a meal or something.
Mhm.
And someone else.
Yeah, someone else?
Yes,
someone else?
and she was impressed about that day in that particular day, and they argue about if the guy on the car didn't have that car, maybe he would buy a meal, and then she wanted to make the difference. Maybe it might be a big difference or a little difference. So she was discussing with her parents and his brother, and her mom says what would her do about that situation. So if they wanted, I mean, if she wanted to sell the house, and she said, well, no, she didn't said, but they sold the house and donated to the proceed something about in Africa.
A project.
A project, yes, and they went to a small house and they live better because they were closer than the old house, than the dream house. And I think, what else? I don't know if we want to know about more about this family. They have a site in the net.
Web page. Yeah.
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 All right, is that it? Nobody else wants to add anything?
How can Hannah relates to society difference? When they stopped in the red lights and she was sympathy and thought, how could we help them? How could they help them? And discuss with her family. Her mother said they can live, if they can live in a small house. And she thought in the better benefits about it. No? Something
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, and Hannah is very persuasive.
It's
Yeah.
younger. She's younger.
Yeah.
She don't know
I mean, would
anything
you?
about economy.
Yeah.
Economics.
Can your daughters, if you have a daughter, can your daughter convince you to sell your house?
Imagine. No, come on.
It depends our situation.
That it would depend on.
Yeah. Because maybe I think, I remember when my daughter said, Dad, can we give some that to that people? And I said no, and she convinced me about buying a bread and a coffee. We were in the street, so I gave it.
I can imagine. I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
They are younger. Hannah is younger.
Power of
yeah,
half.
it depends
Yes,
on
yes,
the
yes.
monetary situation, because they
Yes.
were rich.
When they got a job.
I am not.
All
I
right.
understand about it.
Then what would you have done? You wouldn't have sold your house. You wouldn't have donated the money. So what would you have done?
Maybe with that money, I would make a foundation to help people, and not
Okay.
to send it to Africa.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe you go there, move and make a business there and
Open a
create
business.
jobs.
Yes,
And make
create
jobs
jobs.
there. Maybe, but only save money. It's like now in our country, when you give money to the people when they don't do anything, you only create a monsters for you because always with money and spending like on.
Well, I think what you say, Mari Carmen, is something like very difficult because I've seen homeless people, and many of them they just want money. Or for
Yes.
example, I've seen homeless in the USA, and I think they are homeless because they want to be. You know, I'm not
Yes.
saying that
Mm.
everybody.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that everybody, but most of them, because in the USA they have a lot of programs. They can
Yeah.
receive a lot of help and support from the government, and they just don't want it.
They don't
Yes,
want to
I
they
leave.
know.
have good programs, but
Well,
they
yes.
distribute their money in our country different like us. And
Yes.
they have a good programs and they give money in these kind of programs. Like different we in our country never do it. And it's so hard
No,
here.
I know
But in another
it's
countries they have
I know
a
it's
very
very
good
different
programs for
from
this kind of people.
I know it's very different
But imagine if you
here.
in this moment sell your home, you sell your house and send money only. Say I like a gift. That's all. No, come on. You
But
need to
also here in
protect and
Mexico,
you need to think
No,
first
bro.
and be safe yourself and your family and after others. If you don't want to be like them. I think
Well,
so.
that's a good point, Mari Carmen. So
Mhm.
basically, the Sowen family, in this case, the father, he didn't put his family in the street. He
Yeah,
still has a
Yes.
$1 million home, which is still
Yes.
nice,
You
right?
need
Yeah.
to
So,
in more business.
and like you guys say, well, it's because they can. Well, that's a very good thing to say. What would you have done? What could you have done?
Yeah, I think it
Personally,
depends. Okay.
oh, personally, I wouldn't have done that to sell my house.
So
Yes.
welcome by, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome by. Yeah, welcome by. Maybe give a few spare coins, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or to create.
or maybe do something else.
Mhm.
Maybe helping
help them.
in a helping in an orphan, like donating something,
Mhm.
or I don't know. I remember when I was in middle school and high school, we went to different places to help people in need. For example, like I said, the orphans, or the what is it called, nurse home for the
Uh-huh.
older people.
Yeah, nursing home.
Yes, nursing home. And it was like a public nursing home, so they only received donations. So we have the opportunity to collect a lot of stuff like food or
Clothes.
clothes. Yes. And what else? Stuff for their personal hygiene, like soap or
Deodorants.
shampoo,
Yeah.
or and it was something a little bit different, but you were donating something.
Mhm.
And you only gave what you could in that moment, so you didn't have to donate 1 million, but maybe, I don't know, 100 pesos or 10 pesos or whatever you have.
Mhm.
You just bought something and you will donating.
Yeah.
So it's what you can give. You don't have to give a
Exactly.
million. You don't have to give $1 million. But if you have 20
Yes,
pesos or 50
yeah,
or
if you want to
whatever.
help,
A percent according to the situation. No?
Very good, guys. Now let's continue with the story. Now let's touch the grammar. And we're going to imagine some things. Circle the correct verb forms to complete the sentences below. Use the article to help you. Then we'll read the grammar chart. So number 1, what would you do if you see or saw a homeless person? What is the correct expression? The correct verb form?
so
Yes, sir.
So
Saw. Number 2,
my family might not have become.
have become.
Yes, have
Have
become.
Become.
Have
Suppose if they
become.
hadn't moved to a smaller house.
and number 3,
If Anna hadn't seen the man
In
in the
the
car, the
Man.
family might be still.
And still.
Haven't seen.
She was
very good. Now, what are we working with, guys?
Conditional.
Conditional.
Conditionals, imagining situations,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So let me write down conditionals. Come on, conditionals. All right, now number 1. What conditional is number 1?
Second conditional.
Second? What is number 2?
I don't remember.
Come on, Adriana, tell me what's number 2? 0, first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
Let me go back to my notes.
All right, you have notes, that's good. Mari Carmen, what do you think? Rocio, Antonio,
Third,
what conditional is number 2?
Is past perfect.
because if they hadn't
Present
moved,
perfect.
Haven't
Third
the
conditional.
family
Third
might,
conditional.
might not have become. It's the third conditional.
Oh,
Third
yes,
conditional.
Third conditional.
Third.
Number 3.
And number 3?
Third conditional.
Mm,
If it's also third.
Or
Yeah. So it's
What?
also third.
It's also third,
Third
It's
conditional.
also third?
I guess.
Are you sure?
No,
Let's check. Let's check it out.
Honey.
Okay, number 1,
Still.
you say it's second. But why? Why is number 1 second?
because we have to use the
Okay.
past, simple past.
Okay, so number 2, we have the
The
simple
modals,
past.
modals.
And the
The
modal.
model,
Modals.
Another and the
would
Mhm.
you do?
Would
Yes,
do.
this is the
All
second
right.
conditional.
What about number 2? You say it's third. Why is number 2 third?
and
We
the
have
and
to
the
use
and the
simple
the-
perfect.
Hadn't-
We have a simple perfect.
So the what? The what?
past perfect.
I
and
past,
have
then-
past
past
perfect.
perfect and
Perfect.
present perfect.
Oh,
Yes, simple
Where is
perfect.
it? Where is it
past
where-
perfect.
where is past perfect?
hadn't moved.
Hadn't moved.
Hadn't moved. They
And then we
hadn't
have
moved.
the
Present
model.
perfect have become.
And the
And
model?
we have the model.
Might
Might
not.
not have
Might
not.
become.
Might not have become.
Yes,
Have become.
might not have
Very
become.
good. What about number 3? Why is it number 3? Third conditional.
Because we have the if
We have
plus the past
simple
perfect.
past, simple past and
Past
Simple
perfect.
past,
simple
No.
past.
No,
It's-
past perfect.
No,
Past
past
perfect.
Past perfect
past perfect. And the result is
Is with
My.
model.
is modal,
Yes.
modal my.
that the same?
No,
No.
it's not the
No.
same. It's not the same. But
Yeah.
we are imaginary situation because we have if, haven't seen.
Yes.
It's a mixed conditional.
Okay.
So what conditional is it?
Third, that's what it's
Second.
third and second. They mix
Second.
them.
Right? Which part is the third conditional?
The first part,
The first
Yes.
part.
The first part. And the second conditional?
the second part, the second clause.
The
Yes.
second clause. That's right. We have a mixed conditional. What's the difference? Or what's happening? What are we looking at? The second conditional, what would you do today is in the present. If you saw when? In the past?
No, in the present.
Today, right? In the present.
Uh-huh.
Very good. That's number two, one. What about number two? The family might not have become when? Today?
No, in the
The past.
future, no?
In
No.
Well, yeah, they talking, okay, yes,
in the past.
in the past.
What about if they hadn't moved? When did this happen? In the present?
Past.
In the past.
In the past too.
Past. And what about number three? If Hannah hadn't seen,
Present and
In
past.
the
In
past.
present,
if Hannah hadn't seen in the present,
no, I'm sorry, in the past.
In the past.
in the past, they might still live in the
Present.
Present.
present. In the present. Yes, guys, there you go. Easy. Easy. Yes?
More or less.
Oh my goodness. More or less.
Very good. Sorry, I'm back. My computer.
Very
crashed.
good, Mr. Very good. Yes, here you are. So we have conditional statements and questions. You can use if clauses to talk about hypothetical events in the present or the past. Notice the commas. Now, in the present, we have the is plus past form, modal plus simple verb. What would you do if you saw a homeless person on the street? If he looked hungry, I'd probably give him some money.
Or invited a taco.
I'd invite him a taco. Yes.
Invite a taco.
So who agrees with this sentence, with this answer? If he looked
Have the
hungry,
pastor, please.
oh yes, man, I'm
Don't
hungry
talk
right now.
about food. Don't talk about food.
No, why not, Adriana?
She's
Because
hungry too, I think.
Because I'll be hungry
I know.
and we'll still have 30 more minutes. So
30 more minutes, yes, 30 more minutes. So I want to change this. Guys, what would you do if you saw a homeless person on the street?
If I saw
So
a homeless person in the street, I would give him coffee.
A cup of coffee, very nice.
okay.
Ladies, Mr.
I
If
need
I
some
saw
money. Some
a
fun.
homeless person on the street, I'd probably
Do nothing.
ask him for a job, try to get him a job.
My goodness, yeah, that's a good one.
Mhm.
All right, nobody else? All right, so that's talking in the present, yes? But what about the past? How do we talk about the past? In the past, it changes a little bit, remember? We don't use the simple past, we use the past perfect
That's perfect.
and the past modal. So if you'd been there in the car with Hannah,
What would you have
what
done?
would you have done? This is imagining being there in the past.
Yeah.
Yes, guys?
Yeah.
So if this happened 2 months ago, then imagine if you had been there 2 months ago with Hannah on that car. So if you had been there in the car with Hannah, what would you have done? The example we have is, I might not have thought about it if she hadn't mentioned it. Now, who thinks the same as this person?
For me.
Well, yes, maybe I would think the same, because maybe if she didn't have mentioned,
If she hadn't.
if she hadn't mentioned it, yes, I probably wouldn't have done the same.
Okay, very good. Now let's go for the question directly. Guys, if you had been in the car with Hannah, what would you have done?
Mm, I will given.
Have?
I will have. Well, if I've been in the car with Hannah, I would have talk about that or talk later about the situation.
Thought, right?
Talk.
Thought. Yes, thought. And it's not simple past, it's past participle.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, somebody else, please. Alberto, Cintia, Mari,
I
Adriana.
would have explained it that he might be a junkie.
It might have been.
It might have been a junkie.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody else?
I
Mari, Cynthia. Come on, Cynthia, give us something, please.
might
Adriana, Antonio.
Well, I did. Okay.
Oh, yes, you did.
Mhm.
I would have yes talk with her about this kind of situation. If she mentioned it, if she had mentioned it,
No, she did mention it.
she did.
She, yes, she
Okay,
did.
I don't like to speak talk about it
You don't
because
like
it's so
to-
hard. And
I know.
she
Then-
needs to learn
then
more about this kind of
maybe
situation, and that's all.
Is
Maybe
what you're trying to
it's
say.
not her.
I wouldn't have talked about it,
Yes.
Okay, I wouldn't.
right, Mari? I wouldn't have talked about it.
Maybe yes,
Yeah.
Adriana,
yes, because this situation made me feel angry. So angry.
okay.
Angry.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I know.
and that's all.
Nobody else? All right, let's go for the last one. Mixed
Yeah.
present and past. If they still lived in their big house, would they have raised any money? What do you think? The example says maybe, but they might not be so close now if they had stayed there,
Mhm.
right?
Would
Do
they
you
have
agree?
raised any money for the homeless or?
For the homeless, yes.
Yes.
If they hadn't sold their house. If they hadn't sold their house, would they have raised any money?
Well, maybe, but they might done something else to.
They might have done.
Yes,
They might have done.
Yes, they might have done something else to raise the money.
To raise the money. Yeah, that's right. Somebody else?
Mm.
Nobody. All right,
Mm.
let's continue. Let me check. Let me see. All right, there you go, guys. I have this little presentation for you. We have mixed conditionals. In this section, on the bottom section, let's start with the top. The top, if we had the key, we'd go in. That is Second or third?
Excuse me,
We
if we
have the
had,
kid.
it's second,
It's the
it is
second.
second.
Second. And what about this one? What is that?
Is the modal, right? Or you mean what conditional is it?
What's a
It's
third?
the third.
Reserve situation.
It is the third, right?
Yeah.
Now I want to show you this. If we had the key, would go in. That is the second in the present. Yes.
Mhm.
Present result that can happen today because we don't have the
Don't have
key.
the key.
Yes. And we have the other one. A past result that didn't happen because we didn't have the key. It's completely in the past. Everything is in the past, the situation and the result. Yes.
Mhm.
But what happens when we have a different situation and a different result in a time? For example, this is a past situation.
Mhm.
And this is
Present.
Going present.
a present result. Yes. And that's how you say it. If we had picked up the key yesterday, we would go in today,
Today.
now. Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm gonna write the expressions. If we picked up the key yesterday,
Mhm. It changed to the second conditional.
what?
Is it possible to change this like a second conditional?
I don't understand your question.
Okay, yes. If we mix the first of the second sentence, the first part with the second part of the first sentence,
Like
we
you
have a
like,
second conditional.
no, we don't have a second conditional.
Is
We- So one more time. If we picked up the key yesterday, we'd go in right now.
uh-huh.
So we have a mixed conditional.
Uh-huh. Mixed
Mhm.
condition.
Yes.
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 All right. And this is a result that can happen today because we didn't pick up the key yesterday. Yes.
Yes. But the result is so we can go in the house today, but it says here we'll go in, so we can go. I mean, it's positive, right? We can go in the house
Go
today.
ahead. Think about it a little longer.
Okay, result that can happen because we didn't pick up. Okay, we didn't. Yes, okay. Because this is negative, the first part, so we can go in the house. The results is negative, right?
Correct.
Yes, I got it.
And what about the sentence over here?
This one,
If
we
picked
did the action yesterday, so we can go in today at the house.
All right, there you go. Let's go for the next example. The other way around. Present situation, past result. If we had the key today or all the time, we would have gone in yesterday. Result is the result, past result. Result that didn't happen because we don't have the key now or ever. So we couldn't go in the house yesterday.
This is a real.
What?
No.
Until now, we had the key until now,
What?
right? We had the key until today. I mean, because it says the first sentence they talking about the present situation. That's why we couldn't get in yesterday because we had the key until today, right?
Nope.
No?
No.
You don't have it.
If we had the key.
It's another mixed conditional, no?
Yes, it's a mixed conditional.
And this is the use for this kind of mixed conditional is an unreal situation or
What are the conditionals? Do you remember? What is a conditional?
Hypothetical or unreal
Hypothetical
situation.
and real
Situations.
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 Those are the conditionals. Again, imagine.
Yes.
Remember. What did you eat for lunch today, Mari Carmen?
Mm, I ate
What?
chicken with spinach.
Very good. That sounds yummy. Now, is that in the past or the present?
In past.
In the past. So if you want to, or we want to imagine that something different was in the menu, what conditional do we use? Imagining a different menu, a different type of food. What
If
conditional do we use? Second or third?
It's a second.
No.
No, it's a third conditional. Okay.
All right.
Yes,
Guys,
yes. I forgot it. Yes.
So, it's a preconditional. So I can ask you, what would you have eaten if you hadn't eaten chicken with spinach?
If I hadn't
Eaten
chicken and spinach, I would have eaten
pozole.
well, no sé.
Taquitos al pastor.
Taquitos al pastor.
There you
Taquitos
go.
al pastor.
So it's an imagined
Imaginary
situation. Yes.
Mhm.
Hypothetical, unreal situation. Now, in the hypothetical mixed conditionals, I'm sorry, in the mixed conditionals, what we're talking about is when the condition and the result are in a different time. Yes? A condition in the past affects something in the present.
Yes.
Or when something in my everyday life affects something that happened in the past. But let's check out this.
Could you send us this kind of information?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, what do you see here? Third and second, or second and third?
Second and third.
Second and third.
Second and third. Can you read it, please, Adriana?
Yes. If he were handsome, I would have been his.
So we have second, and this is in the present or the past?
In the past.
In the past. No.
If he were handsome. Or if it's not in the past, it has to be in the
present.
If he were, is that
imaginary
present?
Situation, no?
It's an imaginary situation in the present or the past?
Well, in the present.
In the present.
The first part in past.
Nope.
No, it's in present. If we're yes, it's in present.
If he were handsome, in the present,
If he were handsome.
I would have been his in the present or the past?
In present.
In present.
In present.
No.
No? Why not? A ver, tell me.
He were handsome.
I would have been.
You have been changing my mind according to the grammar, this kind of grammar. Give me an explanation. Why is it present, please?
It's not in the present.
It's in past? Why? Please tell me.
Right? Anybody else want to know why? All right, let's continue. Next sentence. If he were smarter, I would have fallen in love with him.
Ooh.
Have you ladies ever said that?
Sometimes.
Yeah, the CEO has.
Sometimes.
All right. Okay. Now, if he were smarter, is that in the present or the past?
Present.
In the present.
In the present. Now, I would have fallen in love with him in the present or the past.
In the past.
Was.
The past. Okay.
Pa-
If he were taller in the present or the past.
Also
In the present.
The present. I would have chosen him.
In
Mm,
In the past.
In the past.
The past. All right. So let's go to a different. This lady, this lady, all right? We have here now, and this is back in 1968.
mhm.
Now, today, if only I hadn't been so picky, present or past.
Oh, she's single.
Present.
Has a lot of cats.
If only I hadn't. Yes, in present, huh?
Only I hadn't been so picky in the past.
In the
It's
past,
I
past.
wouldn't be alone now in the
No,
present.
I wouldn't be
present.
alone now.
Ah,
Mhm.
yes.
There. Now, Adriana looked at the cues, and that helped her see the tense of the conditional.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's what you need to do. You need to read the cues, the clues, the
Mhm.
context, you know, that every little detail will tell you something about the sentence.
Mhm.
And right here now, it's telling you this is now. I wouldn't be. That's now. So if this is now, this is in the past.
In past.
Yes. Let's continue with another. This is the timeline. We have the present, the future, and the past. What is this?
Past.
Past.
It's incomplete.
Simple
Simple
past.
past.
Sorry.
Simple past. What about that? What is that?
Past
Past
perfect.
Past
perfect.
perfect.
Past perfect. Yes, and that's what happens. The tenses move one place, but let's check it out. Normal real situation.
It's in.
We have the simple past and the simple present.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have the simple present and the simple past. Imaginary unreal situations that didn't happen because something different happened instead. What is this? In the past or in the present?
In the past.
In the past. So the simple past, it happened in the past. So how do we say the conditional? In simple past?
Past perfect.
Past perfect.
The imaginary situation is the condition is in past perfect. And the result?
That's what it
Past
says. Past
perfect.
perfect model.
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 Could, might have, could have, could
Past
have,
perfect
might
model?
This is incorrect. It's not past perfect model. It's past model or
Past
perfect
model.
Past model.
Perfect.
Say perfect model is also correct. Perfect model, like that. Okay. But when, yeah. What about when the condition is in the present?
In simple
Simple
past.
past.
Simple past.
Simple past. The condition is in the simple past, and the result is in would plus.
The verb simple
Simple
form.
form.
All right. Example. I didn't study English in high school, so now I take this course. How many clauses do we see here? I didn't study English in high school.
In high school. So
Two classes.
Now I take this.
so
We have two clauses. Are they in the same tense?
no.
No.
No. So the first one is in
It's in
simple
the
past,
Past. Simple
and the
past.
second one is in the
Present.
simple
Simple present.
Simple
Present.
present.
Now, help me make this mixed conditional, please. How do we say it?
If I
If I, yes.
if I hadn't hadn't
Hadn't
studied
No,
studied
if
in
I hadn't.
hadn't no.
No.
If I
If I put it, no.
I
Nope.
would if I had
If I had,
if I
If I
have
had.
no, not have.
studied have
No, it's in
If I
simple
had.
past. So how do we need? Past perfect.
had studied English in
Had.
high school.
Had. I told you I had. If I had studied
You,
English in high school.
Maddie, you said hadn't. In negative.
Hadn't. No, no, sorry. In negative,
No,
no.
no,
You
hadn't.
not.
No, if
Had.
I had studied English high
Had
school,
studied English.
the result
I would take now.
I would take.
I would take.
I have.
No, I wouldn't take.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't take.
It wouldn't take.
These course.
This course now.
Yes. Correct.
Mhm.
And remember that these clauses can change positions
Yeah.
alone.
I wouldn't take this course now if I hadn't studied English, no?
Yeah.
There. What is the difference between the first one and the second one?
The first one, in this case, the first one is in present, and the second one, the if I had, is in past.
Yep.
This one.
If I had studied English in high school, I wouldn't take this course now. Or
Okay.
I wouldn't take this course now if I had studied English in high school. What's the difference? Cynthia, can you tell us the difference? I think Cynthia is not here.
Only
Adriana?
position of conditional.
No,
No. The
no,
connector.
no. And it's really important, guys, okay? It's
If I had-
very,
The comma.
very
The comma.
important. Yes, the comma.
But in the first phrase or sentences, the mixed conditionals, we have the connectors like as the adverb so. Is that possible?
You
Where
can
they
use
say,
it as an adverb of intensity, but not as a connector.
it's an adverb intensive. Okay, thank you. I'm going to write it because
Okay? So is the comma. When you
Yes.
begin with the result, you don't need a comma.
yes.
Okay.
Now let's take a look at this example, this activity. The repairman didn't repair my laptop yesterday, so I can't use it now. Now, this is a connector, right?
Uh-huh.
But this is not a conditional.
Uh-huh.
That is not a conditional. It's your story.
Yes.
Now, can you please tell me the conditional?
Yeah. If the repairman had repaired my laptop yesterday,
Not two. Not two.
Repair my top.
repaired my laptop.
If the repairman
Repairman
Had
had repaired
I got it.
my
When
laptop yesterday,
I have a question.
Laptop.
comma,
O sea,
my laptop yesterday, comma,
Yes.
I couldn't.
I could use it now.
I have a question. If
Yes.
we have the example, for in this case, the number 6, the repair didn't is in negative sentence. They are in negative sentence. We change for conditionals in affirmative sentence.
Once again, the example with your lunch. You ate chicken with spinach, right? What would you have eaten if you hadn't eaten chicken with spinach?
Oh, yes, like an example.
Imaginary situation is the opposite of the real situation.
That's the reason because we have a negative and affirmative sentence.
And it's not always.
Oh, no, something like this. Yeah, I understand. I get it.
Yes?
Now. Yes, I get it now. What is my problem with this? Thank you.
Okay, what about number 7? I think you should have bought the other dress. This is a tricky one because we didn't check some pointers before, but maybe you can find the answer.
Okay, may I participate on this one?
Absolutely, mister.
Okay, if okay, well, let me clarify my mind.
I can help you, okay? Don't struggle too much with it because we didn't cover one of the pointers. So I can tell you the result. Are you ready?
If I had thought,
If I had,
Nope.
if I had
Nope.
had,
Nope, nope.
no,
If I were,
Because you have a mother.
I think
Because
you should have always-
I think, is that in the present or the past?
present.
It's in the present. So
Okay, if I were you,
continue.
Mm,
I should have
No.
bought the other dress.
Not should, that's a suggestion.
Okay,
What's the
I-
result if I were you?
I could
Okay.
I could.
have bought the other dress.
or I would.
I would.
Okay, I
I
would.
would.
Yes,
I
I
could
would.
or would.
I would have bought
but
the
The
other dress.
other dress.
There you go. Very
I
good.
worry.
There you go. That's right. Next, number 8.
Still a little bit confused.
It's still a little bit confusing.
Confusing.
Confusing. All right.
An activity.
What about the context? If the context is not helping you, then use the straight grammar. What is the straight grammar? Easy.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
In the modal if, what do we use? Simple past or past perfect?
If it were,
If it were
if it were,
really hot today.
It were?
Where?
no?
Weren't.
Weren't. Yes,
Okay.
because it's in the affirmative, in a positive
yes.
idea.
If it weren't,
You weren't
Weren't
hot
really
today.
hot.
If it were today,
Really hot
Oh.
today. So hot
Oh,
today.
today.
yes.
I
I
go
would
to
have
the cinema
gone.
with Mike.
Done.
What?
I would
I-
have gone to the cinema with Mike.
I would have gone.
Gone
The
to the
cinema.
cinema.
What about copying, using the sentence that you have?
I wouldn't have refused
I
Mhm.
wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I
Mike's,
wouldn't.
Mike's invitation to go to the cinema.
Yes.
Nice invitation.
Mike to go. Yes.
Hmm?
Also? Number 9. If we
We
hadn't
hadn't
Cancel
Cancel.
our holiday,
canceled our holiday,
holiday.
comma. We wouldn't,
We
would,
will be we will be
we would,
having fun at the beach. Happy.
You can say now
right,
Mhm.
or
because it's present
Present.
continuous.
Now we will be happy. Mhm.
it's okay. What about the last one, number 10?
If she
For
had
example,
a
in this
ball,
in this part, this could be if she wasn't be able or wouldn't be able.
No,
No, hadn't.
nope, no. Can't is simple past or simple present?
Simple present.
In present.
No, no, hadn't.
No, hadn't.
Could.
It's cool.
Could.
Cool, no?
she could
Good.
Could
She
speak
could.
Russian. Speak. 'Speak Russian, sorry, fluency. So,
So,
she could speak Russian.
So,
So,
so
The meeting.
No
Comma.
so. No so.
No so, no so, es
This
coma.
is a conditional.
Com, ajá.
The
The
meeting
The
meeting.
meeting.
The meeting.
Would take
Would
place.
take
would
place.
have taken place. I mean, yes.
We have
would
taken,
have
mhm,
taken
taken place.
Yes, guys, you got it.
More or less, more or less.
Yes, you're getting there, okay? Now I'm gonna send you a bunch of activities so you guys can do it, okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Like this little timeline I made
Yes, please,
Yes, please.
before.
with the
Yeah,
example too.
actually, teacher, if you can send this presentation, I think
Yes.
we will be very happy.
We will have.
It's very
Good.
extensive, but yes, I'll send you a lot of it.
Yes,
Uh,
this kind of topic are in the videos that you send us in the group WhatsApp group, like English, no, English. They talking about it, something.
it's a lot.
Yes, but it's
Uh,
a good, it's a good.
And if you want to, we can continue seeing it yeah, tomorrow. This is the one I was
Yes,
looking
please.
for. This is more.
Okay.
Please, please.
And these are some instructions right there, okay?
Okay.
Yes.
So
Nice.
I will send you this slide.
Mhm.
You want this slide?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
There are two of them.
All of it.
yes. I agree with Adriana.
Okay, and then this one, it will be this, and my goodness, a lot, isn't it? This.
All right.
Mhm.
I think I'm just gonna send you some homework, and then we'll continue with the presentation tomorrow. Okay?
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
How was the class, guys?
It was fun.
Good.
Yeah, a little
Good, good,
heavy,
good.
but it does. I mean,
It was
it
heavy.
worked.
Yes, it worked. Okay.
Yeah, but we need to
got-
understand this kind of topics.
We did a lot. Remember, I sent you a lot of activities to do about the second conditionals and the third conditional.
Mhm.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
why. This is why.
Mm.
Okay. So if you haven't done it, do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of them.
Okay.
And I have more videos and worksheets and
Yes.
slides about the third conditional alone. Okay, so I'm gonna send
Send
those
them,
to now.
send them, please.
Yes, Adri, yes.
Okay.
I'm confused.
I can see with the frustrations on Adriana's face.
Adriana, yes,
Yeah, I'm too
Adriana.
expressive. I'm sorry.
But she got a couple of correct answers.
Well, yes,
yes,
but
yes.
I'm getting a headache.
You're getting a headache. Why? Were you always the top student in your school?
Oh, most of the time.
Well, that's what's giving you a headache, right? You want to be on top of the lesson, and it's costing you a little bit.
Maybe I recommend you to go to the nearest Oxxo you have and get a kawama.
Yes, 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 please. Send me one.
Sometimes I used to drink something and start reading and studying.
Yeah, it works a lot.
When I
It
was at
relaxes
at
you.
the
It works a lot.
university, but then I thought it was a little bit weird, so I stopped doing it. So
No, it's actually good. It's very relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
I
guys.
used
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Adriana.
that's
Go ahead.
okay. That's okay.
no, I'm sorry. I was going to say that I used to drink a whiskey or a Smirnoff, and then if I had to read a lot,
Mhm.
then I would buy something, you know, to help me.
Relax.
Yes, a little
All
bit.
right.
So.
Yes, we
To
need to
help you to
relax.
relax. To help you relax.
Yes, because some topics are really heavy. I know.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
I just need to practice a little bit more with this one. So I
Guys,
could
Who wants to stay and talk to Cynthia?
oh, if she
I want to stay and
if she
talk to
can.
Cynthia.
Cynthia, are you there?
Yes, I can.
All right, I want to stop the recording, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.